institution focused on identifying assets, not in a sector. So it is not about whether you are a college or a hospital or a financial services firm. You could be holding data, which is central to the country and you're seen as infrastructure. They came and classified as critical information infrastructure. And that adds one more element of oversight. It just, I think the derivation or derivative of all of this is, as you understand, that the amount of oversight is increasing, the amount of effort we make, the teams we hire, the assets we purchase, the internal surveillance we do, the monitoring we do, all of that continues to scale. When I go to sleep at night, that's a fantastic comfort for me that all of this is working for the company because this is not happening in isolation. It's a lot of efforts coming together. During last year, of course, we continued being service partners to AMFI and SEBI. You're aware of that. We also got the PA license. This activity in 2021, RBI declared, will move to a licensed activity. That subsidiary has been created, and I'll show you just in a bit. At some time, the carve-out of this business will happen. It's an administrative effort because we own the business, the CAMS group owns the business, but the carve-out and the transfer to the subsidiary will happen sometime during the year. When I joined the company back in 2016, someone described the company to me as, look, you have these 8 to 10 large clients, and a lot of what you do and what happens to the company depends upon what those 8 to 10 clients are buying. And it was true at that time. It was true for the first almost 25 years of the company's existence. What I'm pleased to show all of you today is, and see this number, I think last year when we came, we would have shown this number to be in the 300s. In excess of 500 entities across the country. Mutual funds, of course, there are 19 of them, about 3 to 4 in the pipeline. As they get their licenses, they've signed contracts with us. Almost 150 plus AIFs buying a full suite of services, several PMSs, over 100 entities which are financial information users, registered FIUs under the account aggregator framework, many banks, many selling entities, all kinds of depository participants, brokerages, intermediaries, who buy a variety of things. And what they buy, I will show you in just a bit. But what is heartening to me is while those top 10 clients remain where they are and their revenue contribution remains where it is, I think just in terms of revenue diversification, one from the product perspective, but the other is just from a clientele perspective. It's been mesmerizing in the last 3 years, especially post-COVID, as our API stack became richer and richer, MF Central came around, all the other stuff that we operate on across mutual funds, all of that kind of matured and has given rise to a very, very large diversified clientele. And that, I think, is also a vindication of the sales effort. I'll go there just in a bit. Just short of 4 crore, about 3.6 crore unique mutual fund investors. There is one piece of statistic that you will see, which isn't intuitively seen, which is that the number of folios being created in the MF world is now converging towards the number of demat accounts being opened. Who thought this would be possible? These numbers are now beginning to converge. When Somendu and Hassan come onto the stage, they'll show you. But this 3.6 crore has seen significant augmentation last year. Almost 80 lakh new investors have come. And I'll not be surprised when in CAMS, we will have a year where 1 crore new investors will come at some time. And those are impressive statistics, keep the team busy. But for you, this is not just some mark-to-market gains which are happening at the asset level, which keeps this engine chugging along, but there is foundational unit level individual investors, individual accounts getting opened, and when you do that 1 crore times in a year, you get to the kind of magic that we are seeing right now. Also in insurance, we just short of the 1 crore mark. Vivek will come and talk about insurance, but we've almost doubled our quarterly accretion of policies. What used to be a 500,000 number is about a 1 million number. So you will hear us announce the 1 crore policy sometime soon, hopefully within the year. But that is a 90 lakh mark. And I think all of these numbers, the very, very nuts and bolts, distributed small numbers that add up to our business is very, very heartening to us. How does this all sit together? This sits together in terms of a number of subsidiaries. Wherever statute requires us to do business in a subsidiary, the business just goes and sits there. Where is it true? It's true in KRA. It's true in insurance rep. It's true in account aggregator. It'll be true in payments. So we're doing a single business. Fintuple and Think360, because of the mixed ownership, continue to remain subsidiaries. Right now, we have no motivation to merge them because the founders are all there and they own a part of the pie. We own over 50%. So that's the architecture of the business, complex, some amount of administrative work in managing this vast suite of subsidiaries. And as we scale, at some time, you will see MF Central become a subsidiary between CAMS and KFIN, and you may see a few other things as we move along. What is a value creation mantra? Is it product-led? Is it price-led? How do we gain market share? Is it sales-led? What are the levers we are pressing? And I'll show you both the levers that we are pressing, and I'll show you how we are pressing them. Because it's taken a long time to get to that stage. None of these things is automatic, but I wanted to quickly go through what is the value delivery framework. We want to be leaders across businesses, and I'll get to a chart where I'll show you that across the 6 key businesses, there's clear evidence that 2 of them are number 1 in the market, and 2 of them are number 2 in the market. And of course, one business is a 2-player market, but every other business, even if it is licensed, is a 4, 5, 7, 10, 15-player market. Like I said, all our businesses are regulated, so all of them are licensed, but one single 2-player market, everything else is diversified, which means that we have no, apart from our work and our track record, I don't have any other right to win, right? It is not that I'm sitting in a fenced area and people have to buy from us. There are very few markets like that. So we want to be leaders across businesses, like I said. First to market innovation. Again, it can be used as a cliched English term, and sometimes it sounds like a cliched English term, till you see real manifestation. So I will show you real manifestation of what first to market has been. And a lot of this has happened in the last 3 years, where we build the teams, we build the infrastructure, we build the thinking capability to be a true tinkering shop, and I'll show you what the market leaders have done and what we have done in all these areas. But that's a defined credo. Every other part of the business is converging towards a platform. Everything is going towards platform, which means if I take labor cost as a percentage of revenue, whichever metric you guys look at, you'll see it as a diminishing metric, and the number of people I deploy is coming down. So everything is turning into a platform character. I think the assets are that once large clients integrate with you, they will just stay with you. It's a large glue to our entire existence. But that's our mantra, that wherever we are selling individual products, we'll sell individual products, but our philosophy is to turn into a platform, whichever business we can turn into, and we'll talk about those in just a bit. We will accelerate the momentum on growth, both revenue and profit, and market share. And then I think if you ask me one reason why this has happened or what have I done, I think I've made this place very, very talent-rich, very capable, whether it is the fintech founders who joined the team, who are still running their companies, or it is the management team that you'll see just in a bit when we get them to the stage, or those of you who choose to make a trip, and I know that several of you do make a trip to Chennai and have come to our offices. You will meet our people. We'll make sure that we showcase them. I think the one thing which has really made a difference is to create teams like these. Take a look and then go back and see when was the last time you saw a team like this. And from a legacy talent perspective, I think the legacy talent of CAMS, which has been there for the last 20, 25, 30 years, and the new age guys who've just joined recently, it creates a very nice medley. And if you ask me one reason, of course, there are several reasons which have brought us here, but talent is certainly one of them. This is the chart I wanted to show you. So now if you go from the left to the right, and we're talking about 6 businesses here, in MF, the leadership obviously is clear because that market share number is a well-vindicated number, right? I mean, you see it just everywhere, including on the Amphi website, but you will see it wherever you go. We've been number 1 for close to 2 decades now, not just in legacy business, not just in share of AUM, but if you take share of the new wins, How do you create value in these markets? You take a base which has great glue and wants to stay with you. You're innovating in that base, and then you're winning new. And if you're ahead of the market in both of these, I think that's great assurance. 5 of the top 7, and I'm sure that this juggernaut, this momentum will continue. But that's very satisfying, and that's our core business where we are leaders. Alternatives, again, by a margin, the number 1 player. This is now becoming a crowded market. It is not just 2 or 3 players. There are at least 5 or 6 which are selling TA and FA services to domestic AIFs. The same players are also selling in Gift City. The same players are doing a variety of things. But I'll draw you to one metric that if you took the same assets, the same outsourced assets that you look at on the MF side, put all assets in the denominator, took all assets of ours in the numerator, you'll get a 50% plus share. I know you see other numbers too, but we are happy to kind of lead you into the nuts and bolts of this. So those 2 are number 1 businesses in the country. CAMS Pay operates in a niche, so I'm not trying to rank CAMS Pay against what I call the full service, full stack payment operators. But if you see in UPI AutoPay, which is a segment of the market amongst the top 3, if you see the NACH e-NACH part, which is largely the SIP book across mutual funds, the number 1 player. When you look at CAMS KRA, again, there are just 5 operational KRAs, not very tough for you to get the numbers. You can look at these numbers. We used to be number 3 and are now catapulting to number 2. And when we get Anish on stage, he will talk about why we believe that there is strong glue in this, because this is a gain of share game for the last 2 years. We've gained share. We've operated across segments in the market that we were not operating in. But again, I'm just telling you ranks that you can look at the data yourself. We can help you with the data, but a clear number 2 out there. CAMS repository, as the right things happen in the market, this business will scale, has the opportunity to be very large by itself. But if you just took the 4 players today, the 4th player, of course, the marginal player, is not very active. We are number 2, and like I said, just short of a crow policies. So MFRTA, number 1. AIF outsourcing, number 1. AIF outsourcing, number 1. CAMS KRA, number 2. Repository, number 2. FinServ, where again you see data, you see the Samati website. They will tell you how many individuals are connected to the AA ecosystem. So there are 2 metrics to look at. One, how many individuals have ever given a consent, and the second is the monthly data pulls. At this market share, the current market share of about 17%, we would rank as number 3. And this is a market, again, it's a 3-year-old market. We came from nowhere. It is not that we were in the capital markets for the last 30 years and some adjacency propelled us here. We've created the winning combination, and that's why we are here. So I wanted to leave this with you. I wanted to leave this with you of a stack of products, a stack of platform capabilities, where apart from payments, because we still don't run a full stack payments book, where we operate brilliantly. In every other, at the market level, at the overall market level, we are either number 1 or number 2. And I just wanted to frame this for this audience. I have spent over 3 decades in different markets. In some more time, it'll be close to a decade here. So how do you win? How do you win? You can win on price for some time, bad way to win. We see a lot of companies just operate that way. You can win basis sales, which means your coverage is the best. You're in part of every bid. You are able to present to and influence customers, or you have a great product. And I would say in our case, we are not price competitors. We almost deselect a lot of those bids. Wherever we say it's a race to the bottom, we sometimes don't even participate. So it's mostly product-led, and I'll talk about why I'm saying this. Take CAMS KRA and take this 10-minute KYC. You know the names of all the other KRAs. Go to the websites and take a look. It's not that this cannot be replicated. It's tough to replicate, but anything which is done digitally, people have the access to the same data sources, have access. If they tinkered enough, they could build that. For the last 2 years, it's an unmatched capability. brought us significantly ahead as a lot of clients, especially the mutual fund sellers, saw great merit in adopting this capability because you can set up an account on the same day and sell mutual funds on the same day. This is what I call first to market, which means it's a real innovation. Competition hasn't copied this yet, may copy it sometime in the future, but has given us that 2 to 2.5 years edge where we've gained share. And this is a clear share gain game that we've played so far. So very pleased to share with you this, and then look at rep. I mean, the EIA business, the electronic accounts for storing insurance in DMAT, the licensing was back in 2010-11. So the EIAs, IRs have all been there over 10 years. Nobody thought of this. We are the only ones even today, a layer on top of where the investor record sits, and figuring out a way to do transactions digitally, connecting with all the insurance companies through APIs, doing data exchanges, taking a request for dematting an insurance policy online, doing the demat online, and then over a period of time doing digital lien marking. Vivek, when he steps on, will show you what digital lien marking looks like, payment of premium, renewal, all of that is happening. And again, first to market, the only one in the market. And the reason I'm saying this is I just want to underscore the product-led approach versus a price-led or sales-led approach. I would say sales is certainly one thing that we built out significantly, but the success is a thinking, intellectual design success. Sales comes next, and price competition is nowhere in our books. So as you move forward, whether it is Affluence 360 that Amit and Surya will talk about, UPI Auto for MFSIPs, we were the first ones, the market leader, which competes with us inside of mutual funds, did not introduce this. Again, it's for you to see. All these posts are there on our website, on our LinkedIn pages. So a lot of this progress has happened because we focused on one core thing, which is we want to differentiate at the product level, take those things to market as fast as possible, and then create a sustained differential. Like I said, there is nothing which is not copyable. It's competition will catch up at some time, but just the satisfaction of being ahead is just significant. And you'll see this across businesses, whether it is MF, payments, alternatives. For example, this entire thing about WealthServe, the first digital onboarding platform, we built this ahead of everyone else, close to 170 AIFs and PMSs, all domestic, a few in the GIFT City, are now using this for digital onboarding. The entire character of the industry is changing. This is the last standing bastion, but again, the first to market. And what I want to certainly postulate is that's what our attempt is. We have the talent, we have the teams, we have the capability, and we have the culture. I think culture is most important because otherwise you can take Me Too products, copy something else, copy someone else, that someone else has done, but that's not the accent. The accent is something else. And you will see a lot more of this as we progress. Sorry, I think I'm running out of time, but we'll just figure this out. The other thing that I wanted to show you is synergy, on where are we building synergies. And again, I worked for a large MNC which used to have 5 brands. And sometimes clients would introduce us in their offices saying, why don't you meet your colleague? He's come from Bangalore, works for your company. Because that MNC had 150,000 people in India. Domestic would have had 30 or 40,000. A lot of leaders didn't know each other. So when you run a differentiated business which has MF plus 6 offerings, some of these have come through acquired companies where the founders have had a certain culture. I think the good news is that all of these things are coming together. So for example, you've seen that repository, KRA, and Think 360 have together won the bid with Oriental Insurance. That's the insurance KYC bid. They've also won that with one of the insurance companies in the SBI group, SBI General. So while these are disparate offerings, KRA sits in CAMS KRA, and the old CAMS KYC sits there. The video KYC part sits with the Think 360. And repositories, the business that bids, the insurance business bids, but they come together, bid together. Similarly, in account aggregator, the account aggregator service is with CAMS FinServe, the TSP, the basic TSP, the technology service provider is Sterling, and the TSP++, which is the entire analytics layer, actually sits with Think 360. And as you go forward, whether this is about selling advanced analytics, you will notice a term here which is around affluence. And you will see that that product has been built together between Think and the mutual fund services team. And we continue to expand this. Payments sells across the franchise. Sorry, do something. Payment sells across the franchise. So bringing synergies together and those 500 clients, and sometimes I joke with my team that we have 500 clients. If we upsell correctly and we cross-sell correctly within these banks, within these fintechs, because the way they are architected, you have a holding company and then you have a broking arm, you have an NBFC, you have an insurance company, some will have general life, both. That itself, without getting into new wins in the market, is a great way for us to scale. I'm not showing you a kind of a cross-sell number. Maybe in some time we will start publishing that. But I think the very heartening thing is all of these teams coming together and working together to make sure that one clientele enjoys the benefits of all the other products. There is, of course, way to go here. I think we've done one serious year last year of account coverage and account management, but we will do a lot more of this. So whether it is intelligent automation, and a lot of this just keeps us efficient, just the way, and I think I've told you, a lot of you, the story on how we do a face match, or how do we reconcile, the 30 or 40 lakh payments that come a day in our mutual fund accounts. A lot of that is about intelligent automation. I spoke about APIs where we just offer APIs to all kinds of consumers. A very interesting use case, which is not about commercially making money, but it'll just tell you how complex APIs can be. That an MF customer may come to one of the platforms, and when he comes to one of the platforms, and the platform may be taking the trade through a stock exchange platform, they will have a phone number in their books. That digital platform may have a number 1234. The stock exchange may have a phone number 5678. And I may in the folio have a number ABCD. Now, this was a loose arrangement till about 3 years ago, till I think one case went wrong in the markets. And then the regulator came in and said, look, the only phone number is ABCD. The only phone number is what this man gave in his folio. Now, when Anush Kumar has gone to that digital platform, you got to send him an OTP so that he can do the transaction. You must figure out what the phone number is, because that platform knows 5678. That platform knows 1234, the exchange knows 5678, the folio is ABCD. There is a live API which tells that platform that you can send the OTP only on ABCD, send it on ABCD. He picks it up and sends it. As a consumer, you don't experience latency because the speed is measured in milliseconds. And that's one example of an API. A lot of you take your CAS. The MF Central CAS is now enabled across platforms, a single click of a button, one OTP, and you get your entire CAS. In account aggregator, you can get a single statement, which is not just mutual funds, but which is about all your financial holdings. And a lot of this is enabled through APIs, live APIs, transaction by transaction. And that's all we sell. It is not about any complex, deep integration, which takes months. People just come in, they come into a sandbox kind of architecture, study the entire thing, take the API documentation, and you can literally go live in less than a week. So that's added dimensions to the business. And this is just the beginning. I'm sure when you read about the fintechs, you're reading a lot about these companies whose entire P&L is built on APIs. We have made a good beginning in the last 3 years, and a lot of this business will scale, and the team will come and talk about this. RegTech, risk, fraud, AML, all of those things in the MF world, they're part of a stack. In a lot of places, we are selling them separately. And again, we find very strong, good demand. I think we have the credibility in the market for people to buy these things from us. Analytics, both from a business insights perspective, specific things that the Think team has built along with the MF team. You will see some of those. I don't want to steal their thunder right now, but you will see some of these products. Digital front ends, live dashboards. everything that we do, and I'm sure that all of you have worked in some environment like this, have seen some environment where you get a day-end production report of how many cases came in how many cases we could not verify the bank, in how many cases the payment came in, we verified the bank, we couldn't match it. We've turned everything to a live dashboard, which means our clients are seeing a real-time picture. The reason our industry is able to scale down complaints and we managed an 80% growth in transactions in 2 years is because a lot of this is being monitored in live. So for example, our entire IT assets, we manage websites, we manage chatbots. Is your client or customer sitting in Guwahati or Bhubaneswar or somewhere, is he experiencing buffering? We've given you a live dashboard. So a client has, just like a war room, he has a monitoring room, there's a screen, and on the screen you can see latency. When the latency goes up, let's say beyond 100 milliseconds, whatever that cutoff is, you see a red and you start investigating the red. So it's complete symmetry of information. Again, a lot of this has got built in the last 2-3 years. Modern payment gateway, Vasant will talk about this. And then we will speak a little, I think we've mentioned this in several of our calls, that we are now building out a brand new TA platform in partnership with Google. That process has started. The contract was signed about 8 weeks back. The entire landing zone, etc., has been created. The teams are co-located. We'll show you a video of the offices and how the entire infrastructure looks like. What else do we have? On the growth part, again, just wanted to leave you with some of this stuff. On alternatives, we've continued our win track record. So over 2 wins a week. What are these wins? Largely domestic AIF, WealthServe, which is onboarding, Gift City. Those 3 essentially. But over 2 wins a week is a track record. Gift City, we've now set up a 50-seater center. Between Girish and Hassan, they are leading this part. You will hear about the inauguration of that center in maybe the next 30 days. We had a smaller office. We've now got close to 20 people and a 50-seater, so just getting ready for the future. We have the first international client. KRA I spoke about, the 3 things which have really propelled the business. One, we've gained share in the MF base. So just inside mutual funds, we sell to more and we have a bigger share. Secondly, mutual funds have scaled almost 2x in their ability to bring new investors. All of that growth is completely coming to us because the KYC is done by us, the KRA records are with us. And the third is we started selling to the depository participants and brokerages, and that's been a large cause of the growth. So you've seen this 90% year-on-year growth in revenue. All of that resulting from the 3 things that I stated about. We expect that momentum to continue for some time. On payments, again, I think 25-26% revenue growth we showed last year. This year, if everything goes well, it could be 1.5 to 2x of that number in percentage terms. And you see in 1 quarter, you'll probably see the next quarter soon. Again, riding on what's happened in the world of MFs, which is SIPs have gone up. Our penetration of insurance and repetitive payments continues to increase. We are building out, so we were a PA licensee. It's a payment aggregator license. We're building out the payment gateway. And in modes like credit card, that will scale up revenue. And then apart from that, I've stated this in some of the earnings calls that we are actively now looking at expanding in the education sector. We made a beginning. We are setting up sales teams, and you will hear about that. But again, a lot of cool, interesting stuff happening there. All of this is happening while Vasant prepares to, at some time, maybe this year, maybe early next year, to carve out the business from CAMS and move it into the CAMS payment services business. Rep, we have, of course, Bima Central now has 2 large integrations, 2 of the largest insurance companies. 2 or 3 more you will hear within the next 30 days. Our quarterly expansion or accretion of policies used to be 500,000, 5 lakh. You've seen about a 10 lakh number last quarter. We will stay at that number. We're trying to find ways to build the momentum beyond that. But I think we've almost doubled that number. And that, as Bima Central kind of people get used to it, the array of services, including the digital lending against insurance. We will show you a demo when Vivek comes on stage. I think just a lot of exciting stuff which can be done around that market. And then in FinServe, in account aggregator, 17% share of the market. I talked about the 3rd rank. The vast array of FYP integrations. So again, diversified business, showing up in the top ranks, share gain in several places, CAMS KRA sustained share gain, payments share gain in several places, FinServ share gain, mutual funds holding share, leadership position across just everything, and I just feel extremely pleased and proud to be working for a company like this. On talent, the reason I asked the team to put up the slide is, we used to bring in people from management schools and engineering colleges every year. So we've had an engineering training program, we've had a management training program. We said this year we'll up the ante and we'll change the profile of the people who are coming. So we suddenly decided we'll go to the IITs and the IIMs. It was never an easy decision because you can't just suddenly walk in one day and go to the dean of placements and say, I want to be there. He'll probably give you a day 9 or day 10 slot, which is meaningless. You will not get the top talent. In some of the places, in some of the institutes, we got one of the top days. What is very interesting is that over 100 people from top ranked institutes. So over 100 people coming into the company from these top ranked institutes, and you will see over 50% are from IITs and IIMs. And we've not done this just to create this poster, right? We've not done this to create this poster. We plan to do the same thing again this year. We may not exactly get over 100, we may get a number between, let's say, 75 and 100, but we will do this. This is structural building out of the talent and the capability in the company, ladies and gentlemen. It is costing us money. It costs us a lot of effort because we are competing for talent in a lot of IITs, et cetera. We are the ones who are getting interviewed because the guy has expectations from his employer. He'll just walk in because we show up there. But the good news is that these teams have settled down. Some of them have gone into operations, some are in technology. A lot of them are in the platform re-architecture program. And we were conscious that when you bring a partner of the stature of Google, and I just heard yesterday that Google is bringing a white-skinned guy to be the project exec, we said we must have exactly similar talent. If I have underdog talent, it's not going to work for us. And we are actually interfacing with a company like Google, which is best in breed. I mean, if you take employment credentials, they'll probably, if not at the top of the world, they'll be probably in the top 3 or 4. So for different purposes, we've built out this talent. You can see the dispersion, what did I do? You can see the dispersion of the talent here. But again, the reason I'm showing you all this is that I want to leave you with the thought that we are making the right investments in the right places, because you can't just get these guys and have old-fashioned offices. So whether it's our leave policy, whether we set up our cafeterias, the offices, and the ones amongst you who make a trip to Chennai, you're very welcome to give me or Ram or Anish a call, and we'd love to host you and show you some of this. Because we were doing this for a long time, but I think this large investment in cutting-edge manpower, last year was the first year, getting into the IITs and IIMs, and we'll keep doing more of this. So you've seen a lot of these awards, and just wanted to for you to take a quick glance. CAMS Pay, Technovity, you see Tejinder there at our Banking Frontiers event. You heard about loan against mutual funds. This is a pre-approved loan theme. You see both Tejinder and Anish. Anish got felicitated for Young CEO 40 under 40. So that's a Business World Award ceremony. CAMS Pay was felicitated by HDFC Bank, Think for their analytics capability. So a variety of recognitions across the board for the company. Where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? Where does this translate? Is hiring these IITs a large cost? Is that going to show up in the P&L? Are we eating it in the P&L? Are we capitalizing all of this? I'm sure there are questions in your mind, but I just want you to glance at where this has ended up despite the growing base of MF assets. And when I came into the company, CAMS's MF assets were under 12 lakh crore. It was 11 and some change. And in a year, if it went up by 2 or 3 lakh crore, I used to get very excited. The best year I saw was about 5. We've had quarters where we've done more than 4 now. So these assets have grown 16%. AUM revenue has grown just short of just under 12%, so about 11.7. And these are numbers that you guys see, you understand that AUM revenue grows with some handicap. Overall revenue, this year of course is not included. This data is only up to March. Grew at about, overall revenue grew at 10.5%. Operating EBITDA, while 2019 is the base year we had, I think, some extra costs or some lower EBITDA because it was the year of the promoter's exit. But you see the numbers, baseline numbers have climbed up by almost a 1% increment every year. So op EBITDA, you see 31.4 to about 44% this year. So 6 years, 5 years. Even if I take out the base effect of 2019, which is a slightly understated number, this number has grown by over 1% a year. And then I think the very pleasing figure, and again, it does not have this year's numbers, a very pleasing figure is a PAT CAGR. We've never till date positioned ourselves saying we will be definitely 20% profit compounders. In the last 5 years, we have been. We've been telling you people that think of us as a 15, 16, 17% compounder. We have the wherewithal, the businesses, the market share, the talent, all of that. But like you see in the last 5 years, PAT CAGR has been better than that. So what do you expect from the future? I think what you must and what you will expect from the future is that we will stick to what we have. We are not planning to get into a lot of newer products. We will stick to the current geographies. We've stated to you that we are focusing on India domestic. The one overseas GIFT City win that you saw was an inbound call. When we get inbound calls without setting up sales offices, we will take that business. If a client of ours goes overseas, we'll take that business. That is just, I think, stated philosophy. But basis that and basis all the operating efficiency and revenue growth that will come out of everything that I stated, I think in the next 3 to 5 years, expecting to at least repeat what you see here. Of course, time will tell how this goes. But what gives me satisfaction is that the building blocks are all right. We were known for the MFRTA business for the last 30 years in my time, and especially after we got listed, I think in the last 3 or 4 years, once we had stable ownership, we've been able to build these businesses, put leadership, and I think your conviction will be a lot more when you see some of these leaders come on stage. So I think it says time is up, but I think what I wanted to tell you guys in this session is up. The only one thing that I wanted to show you, I showed you the young leaders. I will call the leadership on stage like I did last year. But if you see this entire chart, then if you see the next chart, this is really the set of guys who run this group. You see a lot of shared services leaders here. And then you see the subsidiary of the business CEOs, especially Vasant, Vivek, Tejinder, and Anish. And you see the 3 founders, Kaushik, Amit, and Surya. All of these guys are here. You can interact with them.
All right. Moving on to the first line of business, mutual funds. May I call upon Mr. Syed Hassan, Chief Operating Officer, a technology forerunner with over 26 years of experience. He spearheads the delivery and operations of various CAMS business functions, including mutual funds, alternative investment funds, portfolio management services, and call centers. He has played a key role in winning and integrating new AMC customers into CAMS and strengthening collaborations into CAMS and various distributors and with channel partners. Hassan also leads transformational initiatives to improve customer experience and efficiency using smart automations. Presenting alongside him is Mr. Somendu Shekhar Ganguly, the Deputy Chief Operating Officer and Chief Product Officer of CAMS. Under his leadership, CAMS underwent a transformative journey from a services-driven entity to a product-driven organization. Throughout his stint at CAMS since 2017, Somendu has been instrumental in driving numerous transformation projects and introducing industry-first initiatives leveraging contemporary technologies. His innovative initiatives, including introduction of chatbot, DigiInvest, Reckon Dynamics, Edge 360, and AML solutions have positioned CAMS as a pioneer in the industry and garnered positive feedback from clients and in the marketplace. Gentlemen, I invite you to join us on stage and take it.
Please confirm. Okay, great. Good evening and thanks for being here. And on behalf of Anuj and CAMS, okay, welcome all of you to this gathering. And Before I start, okay, taking you through the slides, I want to take you back in time, okay, to the past, not a very distant past. 5th September, okay, 2023, okay, when we met for the last Analyst Day, in the mutual fund topic, okay, respect to the mutual fund business, I was talking about three things. I was talking about the global asset management AUM being at 70,000 billion US, and the huge opportunity and headroom for India to grow with an India AUM at that point was at 500 billion US, and how CAMS, okay, is rightly positioned as the core engine, as a bedrock, okay, as the foundational platform for propelling, okay, the growth for the mutual fund industry forward, okay, with intelligent automation and a very, very comprehensive tech stack. Now we are 1 year down the line, okay, we are here today, and the themes, okay, do not change. CAMS continues to be the same bedrock, the same foundation, and propelling the industry forward into the future. And what I will share today is some snippets of how the previous year has been, okay, which will give you a good indication of how the future is beckoning. Okay, that's what we will do in the next, say, 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, next slide, please. Hassan. And this session, I will do it in three parts again. The first part will be giving a view of the market landscape, okay, and how the overall market is, and where is mutual funds, okay, in the market. The second topic I'll be talking in a double click, okay, is the mutual fund industry. How are the numbers shaping? How is the growth in the industry? How the patterns and the trends are? Third part is CAMS numbers, okay, within the industry, to show you the robust growth that our service funds are able to achieve, okay, with CAMS as a big enabler in all of this happening. Interesting statistic number one. Okay, we always wondered, right, in terms of household savings, what is the percentage of household savings or share of wallet of mutual funds in a typical Indian household? 3 years before, it was at 2.6%. And look at the current number now, okay, at 3x the number, 3 times the number, the share of wallet has grown to more than 6%. Okay, that's a very, very interesting statistic and a very, very interesting trend to look at how mutual funds have been adopted, okay, by the typical Indian households. Let us look at direct equities. In the same time, 1.1%, okay, 3 years before, and slightly tapered down to 0.8%. Okay, I thought it will be a very, very useful and interesting statistic that each one of you in this room will be interested in knowing, okay, how is the overall market landscape shaping up and where is MF in that. Statistic number 2, the number of mutual fund accounts versus the number of demat folios, okay, the trends of those. If you look at last year, FY24, 3.2 crore mutual fund accounts added, 3.2 crores. And demat accounts, 3.7 crores, almost converging, right? Okay, it was always looked at like a David and a big Goliath. Okay, and now we are seeing these two numbers converging, and at some point, I'm sure that the trajectories will cross, okay, and we will see this climbing to an even higher number. So this is interesting statistic number 2. This is the flavor of the month or flavor of the year in terms of how is it faring vis-a-vis bank deposits, okay, in the Indian environment. Bank deposits grew in the last 3 years from 150 lakh crore to a 200 plus lakh crore. Okay, this graph that you are seeing, that's a bank deposit graph. I would say a 50 lakh crore increase on a base of 150 lakh crore. During the same time period, mutual funds have grown from a 30 plus lakh crore to 60 lakh crore, 2x, 2 times the growth. Again, another strong vindication of the acceptance of mutual funds, okay, within the Indian context and the Indian marketplace. So 3 interesting statistics on how the market landscape is. As I told you, my second double click is going to be on the MF industry itself. Okay, where are we in terms of numbers? Almost 5 crore investors, okay, is being reached now. We are at a 4.9 crore. And just in the last 1 year, we've added 1.1 crore new investors in the industry in just 1 year. Look at the AUM, the industry AUM, 66 lakh crores now, okay, but the interesting point is 42% CAGR last year in terms of the AUM. The third interesting statistic, okay, the crown jewel in this has been the equity AUM at 37 lakh crores, okay, again with a strong CAGR of 58%. So on all three cylinders, okay, the number of investors in the industry or the AUM, and within that an equity AUM, there has been a significant performance in the last 1 year. Some more numbers, okay, again from an industry standpoint. Retail has been a big contributor to the surge. Okay, we saw the number of investors, 1 crore new investors getting added, okay, and we saw the other numbers on equity, AUM, etc. The surge has largely happened, okay, from an individual standpoint. The gross inflows from individuals is around 17 lakh crore, which has happened. 13 lakh crores, which has happened. And if you look at the other astonishing numbers, 68%, 40%, etc., you will see that in terms of value that individuals have brought in, it is only a 17% growth. Again, is this something that we should not be happy about? The answer is no. The reason is the 1 crore investors who have gotten added across the pyramid. Okay, because of the ticket sizes which are varying across the pyramid, it is more acceptance of the mutual fund industry in the typical Indian household. So we are getting multiple types of investors with multiple ticket sizes across the spectrum. Okay, it's another way of looking at this number. Okay, again, a strong indication of how the acceptance is within the Indian industry and Indian communities. Second is the SIP registration. 4.3 crore SIP registrations within a year. Okay, which is what? When compared to the prior year, 70% higher when compared to the prior year. So I told you the first I'm going to talk about is the overall market landscape. Second, I said I'll talk about the industry, which we saw some snippets of the number of investors who've gotten added, the assets under management, we saw the SIP registrations, okay, we saw those three. What happens within CAMS service funds? Okay, us taking care of 68% of the mutual fund industry in terms of share, how has our performance been of our funds? Let us start with the investor base. Out of the 4.9 crore investors that we spoke about, CAMS unique investors, okay, underline unique investors is 3.6 crore now. Okay, and the jump has been from 2.6 to 3.6, okay, in just this period that we are talking about, an year and 5 months. And look at the growth, okay, we were adding at a rate of 5 lakh per month last year, and now the rate is 8 lakh per month. Okay, the numbers continue to increase for CAMS service funds, okay, and like what I was telling you, out of the 4.9, 3.6 unique, okay, are with CAMS. And you'll want to know, okay, what is it in terms of, say, a comparison with competition, 1.5x of competition numbers is what we have. The unique investors that we have the opportunity to service is 1.5x of competition. Investors, next comes asset under management. Okay, we spoke about a number of 66 lakh crores AUM at this point that we are talking about, and within 66, CAMS service funds are 44.7 lakh crore within the 66 lakh crore that we are talking about. And look at the growth numbers. Okay, between April 23 to March 24, we saw a 31% growth. Okay, and it was a great win. Okay, 31% was a very astonishing number. We are all very happy, celebrating at the end of the financial year to realize that just in the next 5 months, there will be a 20% delta on top of it. Okay, there has been a 20% growth, okay, just in 5 months in this financial year. So that's the kind of AUM growth that this industry is witnessing, especially CAMS service funds. Why I'm using the word especially, we will see in the subsequent slides. Equity assets, okay, have grown within CAMS service funds where we hold a strong 66% share. The equity assets grew 49% in 1 year for CAMS service funds. Within 1 year, 49%. And the same story of the overall AUM continues here for equity. Okay, same story of just in 5 months, a 24% growth, which has happened. Okay, and a strong 66% share for CAMS service funds in the equity landscape too. Again, some more numbers on equity. The net sales, okay, from an equity net sales standpoint, 71% of the equity net sales, okay, which happened in the industry, happened through CAMS service funds. Okay, our funds sold the most, 71%. And again, a stellar performance during this financial year also, where we saw a 2x growth, okay, vis-a-vis the last year. Last year was great, this year is even better. And NFO part, okay, NFO mobilization, if we look at this year, 77% share of all the NFOs, okay, have been contributed by CAMS service funds, 77%. And just this year, in FY25, close to, say, 44,000 crores have come in to CAMS service funds and to the industry through NFOs this year, in the last 5 months. And SIP, okay, this topic is never complete, okay, in an MF space. You can talk about investors, you can talk about AUM, you can talk about equity, you can talk about growth inflows, but the topic is never complete without SIPs. Again, on SIPs, we have a 62+% share in the SIP registrations that we have. And just take the new SIP registrations, look at this number of 30 lakh SIP registrations, which are happening now as we speak. Last year was great, okay, it almost doubled, okay, to 220 lakh per month. Now we are talking about 30 lakh SIP registrations per month that we are seeing in the CAMS service funds. And obviously the gross inflows, okay, are also equally good at 13,000 crore of SIPs coming in on a monthly basis this year. And you see the steep climb, 7,500 to 10,000 to 13,000 crores coming in through new SIPs, okay, SIP gross inflows coming into the industry serviced by CAMS funds. Now, what does all this mean? Okay, the investors are growing, okay, and the AUMs are growing. Equity AUMs have done a very, very stellar growth, and a large part of it has been the retail investors who have created this big spark and surge in the market. Okay, and what does this mean? Okay, from a CAMS standpoint, from our system standpoint, from our ability to process transactions, from our automation, AI, or the intelligent automations across the stack that Anuj spoke about, etc., what it means in terms of transactions, you see it on the screen. 5 crore per month, okay, was the number of transactions that we handled last year. Okay, and when I spoke last year, same time, September, okay, I was giving this statistic and said that we are ready. We are ready for more. Okay, and our systems have stood the test of time, and we were 2x, okay, in terms of readiness, and the capabilities have clearly demonstrated what is possible from an automation standpoint. The platforms that we have built, the servers or the databases or the secure environment that we have built, the services that we have built. Anuj spoke about the APIs that we have built. The entire stack, okay, the capabilities are now enabling us to process noiselessly, very quietly, 7 crore transactions per month. Okay, so without any more additions, we are able to do this. Again, how does a typical day in life, okay, in CAMS look like? On a daily basis, I was talking about the 7 crore transactions per month, right? It translates to 30 lakh transactions every day. And here we wanted to be conservative when we are showing you the number, because on peak days, it is almost double. Okay, it almost goes to 60 lakh transactions per day. Okay, we thought, no, let us show the average. 30 lakh transactions per day is what we process. And we add in 40,000 new investors coming to CAMS service funds on a daily basis. Close to 1.5 lakh new accounts, new folios are created in our CAMS environment on a daily basis. And if you look at it in money terms, 68,000 plus crore, okay, is the value of transactions, okay, that we handle every day. And when I'm saying we, it's not we, these are the machines in CAMS, the automation in CAMS, the powerful engine, okay, which is propelling the industry forward, the intelligent automation across the stack that we have deployed, that takes care of whatever you are seeing on the screen. As a result, okay, of course, the investors have reposed their faith on mutual funds, and our clients, okay, the CAMS service funds, okay, they continue to repose their faith on us. There are new additions which keep coming, and if you look at the current environment, there are 19 large AMCs, okay, all fast growing. The numbers were evident. okay, which we are supporting as CAMS, and I spoke about the 66 lakh crore and the 45 lakh crore that we have the responsibility to service. We are doing that currently at a 68% market share, and 4 out of the top 5 AMCs and 10 out of the top 15 AMCs are CAMS customers. Okay, that's the power of the platform that we have, and no wonder, okay, that the last 5 out of the 7 AMC mandates have been awarded to CAMS. Okay, we're really thankful for all these. See, the fund houses that you see here, all these are native digital players. Okay, and they have done a complete study of the environment between us and the competition, etc. And when they awarded this to us, we conduct interviews on what have been the reasons, where we could have done better, etc. The number one reason has been CAMS tech capability, automation capability. Of course, I should add a number 3, which is a thought leadership and SME-ship that we have from an industry standpoint. But tech, automation, and technologies have been the bedrock, okay, of the current propulsion that we are able to enable, and the new wins, okay, being the only key reason responsible for the new wins. How does all this happen? Under the hood, what is the technology that we have deployed? How does it run? And what is running today? What is being planned for tomorrow? Okay, my colleague Shomendu will talk to us about all of those. Yeah, Shomendu.
Sure. Thanks, Hassan. So, like Hassan spoke about the staggering volumes, the staggering numbers that as CAMS we are processing day in, day out in terms of mutual fund transactions. The volume growth that we have seen, it would have been impossible to handle such volume growth if we were not doing it and doing most of this work automatically. So over the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to talk about what exactly are we doing, what have we done to make sure that we were ready for this kind of staggering volume growths. Just to give you a sense of the scale of the operation that CAMS works at, right, in terms of what is the infrastructure, what is the actual data that we process on an average, on a monthly or a yearly basis. This slide gives you a sense of what is the actual infra that we have put in place. And some of these numbers are really large. If you look at the number of API hits that we service for this industry, we service on average close to 4 billion API hits a year. SBI Bank's Yono app, Zerodha, Grow, all of them are powered by our APIs to put transactions, to put mutual fund transactions in this industry. So when Hassan was talking about why did a Zerodha or a Angel One choose us as their partners, we like to believe that the tech power that we have, the API stack that we have, both in terms of richness as well as in terms of robustness, nobody will be able to even come close to the offerings that we have. And that is shown in terms of the robustness and the scale when we see that we are honoring around 3.6 billion API hits, close to 2.5 billion SMSs and emails we are sending every year, and we are able to pick even a single SMS out of this 2.5 billion and tell you exactly when did I send, who did I send it to, and I will be able to give logs of all of that. And we'll talk about what kind of dashboards we have created to do this end-to-end reconciliation. The database size that we have, close to 1.2 petabytes of data that we manage as CAMS at an overall level, 3 data centers, close to 1,800 servers and all. And all of this is, as we continue to say, is not just to handle today's volumes, but to handle the growth that we are seeing in this industry. And we are continuously upgrading this. And this is the slide that we'll spend some time on talking about what exactly did we do when we started really looking at, and Anush spoke about 2018, 2017, when we were doing close to 11, 12 lakh crore of AUM, to today when we are doing close to 45 lakh crore of AUM. The headcount of the organization, of the mutual fund organization, has practically remained constant. So how did we achieve this staggering growth, handling that kind of volumes with similar headcount? Is we looked at every stage of my transaction processing. right from accepting transactions, be it physical or digital. We implemented what we called auto scan or bulk scan solutions, where you can just dump a bunch of paper and we will timestamp digitally. We will scan it and we will directly push it to our data entry system. To posting, which is basically unit allocation process, where the entire rule set is kind of, we have a BRE or a business rule engine setup, where the order, the way in which the transactions, the unit allocation happens, the rules that every transaction goes through, it's completely automated. To reconciliation, when 2020, when uniform NAV came into picture, where the market regulator mentioned that every transaction, irrespective of the value, needs to get reconciled before units are allocated, our system was ready. We were, before that, taking every transaction and matching it with a corresponding credit before we were allocating units. So that entire system is automated. So today, when Hassan speaks about us processing close to 8 crore transactions every month, each of those transactions, and close to 99.8% of those transactions, the system picks up the transaction and the credit automatically matches it and pushes it for unit allocation. So it's completely exception-driven process only, where a manual intervention comes into picture, but otherwise completely automated. In the data entry process or the KYC process, we had this one insight that if a new investor is coming to a mutual fund, in more than 60% of the cases, that investor is known to CAMS, but maybe new to the fund house. So what we did is we created a syndicated database where we said that we will make it very easy for people to come and create an account with CAMS. We will allow them, basis a consent, to reuse their data that is available with CAMS to create new accounts. And that, while we were doing data entry and even physical to digital data conversions, the amount of errors we were making in data entry came down significantly. So today, we operate at more than Six Sigma levels in terms of the quality that we produce to the end investors, even when we are doing physical data entry. Similarly, for processes like SIP, today, when we process close to 4.5 crore, 5 crore SIPs or 6 crore SIPs every month, the end-to-end process is automated. And what it means is, today, my entire ledger of SIPs, I will go and check out on which date which SIPs need to get triggered. I will create that file, I will send it to the bank, I will get their debits, I will match them and reconcile them, and I will post those transactions. Not a single person is touching any part of that transaction. So the entire SIP engine that we are seeing, and it is at 5 crore today, it can become 10 crore tomorrow, and maybe a year down the line or 18 months down the line, it can become 15 crore SIPs. We will still be able to operate this engine and this machine completely automatically, because the core base or the foundation is completely automated and completely set. Similarly, on the customer service piece, what we have done is, across my different touch points that an investor comes to me, talks to me, or interacts with me, we have tried to infuse as much AI as possible to make sure that my customer service is faster and it is more accurate. So if you look at this slide, what we are talking about is, basis the data that we had, we have custom trained models, and custom trained models across different categories. So I have a custom trained NLP model, I have a custom trained NER model, I have custom trained computer vision algorithms and computer vision models, and I have custom trained string matching algorithms. So an example of string match, when the regulator came up with this regulation that every transaction, before I do a payout or before I take money from an investor, I need to match the name of the investor with the name that is coming from the bank or coming from the KRA agencies. Or when I'm doing a payout, I need to do an IMPS, get the name from the bank and match it with the name that I have in my database. I am the only player available in the financial sector where close to 95% of these name matches happen automatically through the system. The second best payment aggregator who does this job as part of their portfolio has an auto match rate of 84%. So the amount of data that we have, We have used it to massively train our models to make sure that fewer and fewer things I am needing to do it manually, and more tasks are being done automatically by the system. Similarly, the computer vision algorithms that we have trained for, today a regulation is there around masking Aadhaar information from every document that I take. And irrespective of the format of application, irrespective of the Aadhaar proof, the orientation, the tilt, the angle, if you give CAMS an application form with an Aadhaar attachment, the Aadhaar will be masked and we will be compliant. Similarly, the customer service that we are doing, the email bots we are doing, all of them have gotten trained on the data set that CAMS has, and that's the reason where we were, as an organization, able to do customer service turnaround within 24 hours, which means that if you write to CAMS or if you have a query and if you are writing into CAMS, most of your responses, more than 95% of your queries gets responded within 24 hours. That's the first in the industry and first in the BFSI sector kind of a metric that we are providing. Similarly, KYC, and Anish will come and talk about it, but we were and we continue to be the only organization in the BFSI industry who is able to complete your KYC along with image verification, face match, and all of that within 10 minutes. So we have infused AI across the stack that we have to make sure as much work can get automated. And the great thing with AI is that all of this has a positive feedback loop, which means that today if I'm doing X percentage, tomorrow my accuracy will increase, and it's a continuous loop of improvement. And the last thing that we want to talk about is while we are doing all of this automatically, there are exceptions. And in such cases, how are we making sure that the information is available to the end user, be it my clients, be it the auditors, be it regulators, whosoever. The job or the aspiration has been to put the information right up where people are using it, so that, again, dependence on CAMS as an organization comes down. And that's why, as a philosophy, we have taken to a dashboard-based approach. So I was talking about this. I was talking about this SMS email dashboard. So again, in this, what you can see is the entire 2.5 billion SMSs. I figure out who I have sent it to. If I have not sent, why have I not sent? You can go and drill down to an SMS level, and that's on a dashboard. So you can do this reconciliation, you can figure out if there's a problem, and you can check the logs for that. Similarly, across my entire IT services, I have a dashboard. Sorry.
Kamla's doing it for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks,
Kamla.
yeah.
So this is the SMS email monitoring dashboard. You will see that what are the total events, which basically means the transactions I have posted, how many are excluded by design, how many were the total events where I wanted to send, how many I ended up triggering, how many got delivered, what is undelivered, and then there is breakup of everything. So, and if you look at the left-hand side, it gives you what kind of SMSs I have sent, why did I exclude something, if they were not delivered, then what I can do, and there's a reheat mechanism which is built within the platform. So this is at the level of n equal to 1, we can reconcile and we can give, and we are giving this dashboard to our clients. Similarly, on the IT services stack, Anu spoke about, we now provide this view, and again a detailed drill down view where we are talking about how many APIs I have made live for you, how many APIs have an error, what is the error, and then you can raise it to us. We have a 24/7 IT monitoring team which is sitting on our premises, and they are looking at it, and they are making sure that if a development intervention is needed, they do that to make sure that our services are continuously on, continuously live, and we have minimum errors. And this is, by the way, a screenshot of one of our live dashboards. Similarly, we have created this controls dashboard. Again, this is a summary view of the control posture of the entire organization. It's a mix of the different audits that happen. What is the status of the audit? What are the observations that have come in the audit? And different kinds, right? Like AMC is doing an audit themselves. There's concurrent audit, cybersec audit, SEBI offsite, SOC, what we call audit PMO, which basically means that if I'm processing 100 transactions, over the history of CAMS, if I have received observations of a particular kind, I have collated all of them. It amounts to around 350 rules that we have codified. And on my entire database, I'm running these rules every week to figure out if I have deviant transactions. And those transactions are then looked for RCA, and it's also shown to the client to see, for them to get comfort that all my transactions that are processed are compliant. So while that's particularly from an audit point of view, the idea is to give on a dashboard the complete visibility to the clients on how we are doing processing, are they compliant, and how we are making sure that we continue to be compliant as per the regulation. So, so before we go to the last topic, which is the re-architecture piece, and I will talk maybe 5 minutes about that, the fact that what we wanted to convey as part of this presentation is, it's great that mutual fund transactions are growing. It's great the fact that retail participation is growing. We all believe that this robust growth will continue, but at the back, we are ready for processing all of that, and we believe that even if the volumes double, triple, or quadruple, the system is already in place to take care of the volume growth, right? But then we believe that the scalability of that system, while it is doing really well and we have tried to modernize it as much as possible, but the scale at which we are operating, will it be really hold for the next 5 years, or after 5 years, or after 10 years, given the participation that we are seeing? So we believe that this is the right time for us to start investing in a completely new platform. And that's what we have been talking about as part of our re-architecture program, where what we are doing is we are rebuilding the core RTA platform ground up. We are starting from base zero. We are rewriting the entire platform that we have written over the last 30 years. We are rewriting the entire platform natively on cloud. We are tied up with Google, where we will be building that entire platform on the Google Cloud platform, and everything right from scale, performance, throughput, servicing, the AI piece, all of them are woven as part of the design principles of the new platform. And we have a short video that will show you the progress that we have made in terms of getting top tier talent, in terms of getting the facilities to get these people to come and work, and also the kind of things that we are trying to do in that platform. What we believe is that the next time we come and talk in front of you, we'll be able to showcase the kind of innovations we will start doing and bringing to market based on the dev that we are doing on the new platform.
Hi, this is Shiva, doing Head of Engineering for the project Odin. I have 18 years of professional experience working with the likes of PayPal, Freshworks, and Pine Labs prior to that. Really excited for this transformation project.
This is a large-scale transformation project to develop the next-generation platform capabilities for various businesses and services in the asset management industry. The platform capabilities includes digital native services, microservices and event-driven architecture, on-demand, scalable and elastic infrastructure, multi-layered platform approach with clear separation between platform components and business components, robust disaster recovery and backup solutions.
I'm Prasad Thambre, a graduate from IIT Bombay. Being at CAMS, I'm pretty excited to work as a data engineer. Hi, I'm Sudeshna Roy Chaudhary. I've completed my master's from IIT Delhi. Here at CAMS, I'm hired as an SDE trainee and I'm pretty excited to work as a DevOps engineer.
So thank you. So that was the idea, that to showcase the work that we are doing in the re-architecture program and the re-architecture platform. As I mentioned, we are very excited about what we are trying to do on that platform, and hopefully the next time we are in front of you, we'll be able to showcase some of the great things that we would have built by that time on that new platform. So thank you for your time and patience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Hassan and Somendu, for taking us through that.